All right, we're back. Uh, we are back with Corvus Twig. He is no longer on my shoulder. He's speaking to us from his nest in his tree.
Yeah.
And let me make me sure that we have the actual Discord audio is on, because that would be, yes, it is.
I mean, what's the bird of the day if you can't hear me talking?
It's true. Then it's just a quiet reverie for the day. But
Actually, since my chat box, I'm gonna make myself a little bit bigger here. Yeah.
oh, don't get big. Herb. Yep. So, for those of you who don't know Corvus, and if you don't know Corvus, you best should learn who Corvus is. Corvus Twig is Crow,
I'm a
and he's
crow.
Crow, caw, if you will.
Check me
And
out.
Corvus Twig is also an expert on all things burb, and is a streamer of a streamer and a friend of mine, and he does a special segment uh on his streams called Bird of the Day. And when I was talking about doing my charity stream, he offered to do a special Bird of the Day just for the charity stream.
Special bird of the day.
Look at that
Yeah.
wingspan. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Oh, it's fun.
Bask. Soak it in. All
I took it back in.
right, so I'm gonna take off my donkey blanket because it's obstructing
Don't
some of
care.
the view, and I wouldn't want to obstruct the view of them there Corvus Twig.
Yeah.
So, how's the audio, everybody? Let me know if the audio is okay, because in testing, it was finicky. So
Yeah, how do I sound? So
there's
I'm Corey's Twig, and as she said, yeah, I'm an American crow, and I like to talk about birds. And so yeah, every single day I do a bird of the day, and this is actually bird of the day 97.
whoa,
97.
Corvus is
Can
a
you
little
believe
bit
it?
quiet, so I'm gonna boost
Can you,
you.
okay, does this sound a little bit better?
I'm gonna
It
boost you.
sound,
All right, try again.
I'm talking
Oh, there we
again.
go. There's the stuff.
There's the stuff. Okay, it's a bird day. But so yeah, this is bird of the day number 97. I'm almost at 100. 100 birds. Can you believe that? And the thing is, there's like 10,000 species of birds, so I'm not even close to all of them.
You're gonna have to stream for a very long time.
I'm going to stream for a very long time to get all of them. But I mean, sometimes I combine them into one. So like my previous bird of the day was Amazon parrots,
Oh,
and I did all 31 species of those as one because they're all pretty similar. But yeah,
nice.
green Amazon parrots, very good.
So, what bird do you have for us today, Corvus?
Well, today's bird of the day is, well, because you're so Indian themed and this is an Indian charity and stuff, I decided to go with a bird that is very well known, very common, and very revered in India.
Yay!
And so today's bird of the day, oh, it's a pretty good one. I really like this bird. Today's bird of the day is the Indian roller.
Oh wow, that's a
Look
pretty
at this.
bird.
Oh my gosh, they are beautiful. Look at these colors. I mean, you
Is
got
that real? That's amazing.
I know it's like it's just like the orange and the blue, and then the two different shades. These are beautiful, beautiful bird. I was looking up Indian birds, and these fellas are spectacular, spectacular birds. Had to cover them, of course. Yeah. Now the national bird of India is the Indian peafowl, or as most people know them, the peacocks, because the peahens don't get
You don't get the recognition.
they don't get the recognition. They ain't pretty as looking. But the Indian roller is actually the state bird of many states of India and is a very common and very revered bird in India and Indian culture.
Nice.
And I mean, you can tell why. I mean, just look at
Yeah,
them. I mean, how could you not? How could you not?
like a tiny peacock.
Yeah. Well, but they're not actually that tiny. They're 12 to 13 inches long, or
Oh,
30 to 34 centimeters. So they're actually kind of big. They're kind of around the same length that you would see like as maybe a little bit bigger than a blue jay.
oh, okay.
So, bigger for these kind of birds. And, they got a 26 to 29-inch wingspans. That's pretty big. I mean, that's not quite crow big, but I mean, they're decent sized for the type of bird that they are. Weighing 5.9, 6.2 ounces. And they got a pretty good lifespan.
Oh yeah.
17 years.
Wow.
For a bird this size, 17-year average lifespan is pretty good.
Wow. That's in the wild too.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, these birds usually aren't kept in captivity.
Hmm.
They're this kind of bird just doesn't do too well in captivity.
Hmm.
They're wild birds, got to be free. And so, as you can see, there's their range map. So, as you can see, the vast majority of their range is right there in India.
Hmm.
But then again, they kind of go along the Gulf Coast there into Saudi Arabia, southern Iran, and stuff like that. The lighter shaded areas in Saudi Arabia there's these where they only hang out during the breeding season.
Ah,
But the dark areas you can find them year round. But
nice.
I mean, obviously, it's like, yeah, India. That's where these folks like to hang out. It's where they go. One thing I was kind of surprised about is that these birds are not passeriforms. The passeriforms are what you would consider like the small perching birds. I mean, that's what corvids are,
Hmm.
and your finches and your robins and stuff like that. And even though they look pretty similar, no, they're actually in a whole different order. That's kind of a pretty small order. Not a whole lot of species in it.
Hmm.
And yeah, the Coricacia bengalacensis. I mean, the Bengal right in there.
Hmm.
I butchered that pronunciation. I'm not versed in Latin, unfortunately.
It's okay. Not very few people are.
Yeah, very few people are. Well, funny thing is about Latin is that we really don't actually know how things are properly pronounced. We know the spellings,
Hmm.
but we don't know how people in ancient Roman Empire pronounce things because how could we possibly know?
Secret Latin recordings by the Illuminati. Okay.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of information about them. These folks they're not very communal birds. They keep pretty much to themselves, and they kind of carve out like a small area all for themselves,
Mm.
and they'll be very territorial about that area. So like, this is my spot. This is where I'm gonna hunt the bugs, and you better stay away. And they typically only will pair up then when it's mating season, because the males will stick around their female mates, help out with the protection of the nest. They don't do as much of the raising of the babies, but they will stick around the nest and make sure it's well protected. Basically, the female's gonna feed the babies, the male's gonna keep any threats away from the babies, and they're up there with the Australian magpie, and we gonna swoop you.
Oh,
If you walk near one of their nests, well, watch out. I'm gonna come after you. They've also been known to be like seen chasing, hawks and eagles and stuff that are much bigger than they are. They're fierce little guys.
cool. I like a beautiful bird, but I also like a bird with an attitude.
Bird with an attitude. Another interesting thing about him is that the males and the females of this species look almost the same. The males have slightly brighter colorations, but they are still pretty vibrant and beautiful birds on their own. And the biggest difference, that you're going to see is in their attitudes and how they act. So the males are going to be much more aggressive than the females, much more protective, much more territorial. But rather than I mean, their bright feathers obviously are important for mating, but what's really important is their flying skills. One of the reasons they're called the Indian roller is that when males are trying to attract a female, they do a really complex flight. Well, they will do a barrel roll. They do
Cool.
with all these cool tricks in midair where they'll roll around and do all sorts of crazy flips and stuff and all sorts of crazy acrobatics to impress the lady. And if they put on a good show, the lady be like, okay, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
want my babies to be able to do that, so I'm gonna mate with you.
that's as good a reason as any.
I mean, yeah,
Star Fox Burb. Yes, I go.
Star Fox Burb, yeah, do a burble roll. Um, Now these guys, I mean, they are pretty much carnivorous birds. They eat bugs. They bug eaters. About half their diet is beetles. About 40% of their diet is grasshoppers and crickets, and 10%, they do some like small frogs and lizards if they can find them. But and they only eat like seeds and stuff if like they're really, really desperate, but it doesn't get cold enough in India for there not to be plenty of bugs around them.
Nice.
But what's really cool is these guys are really smart about how they get their food. So they're very opportunistic and they understand human behavior and they understand like things that humans do are going to be good for them. So they speculate that a long time ago they didn't do too much hunting at night, but now they do because people turn their lights on at night. And what happens?
Ah.
The bugs get attracted to the lights. And so they stay up
Oh.
later and they will hunt around lighted areas to get the bugs that are gathering around the lights. Or maybe a tractor is plowing a field, and when that happens, it disturbs the ground, and a bunch of bugs will become active to get away. So they will literally
Mm.
follow tractors to get the bugs that have been disturbed by the plowing. I mean, they're smart little birds.
That's a smart bird right there.
Smart bird. Um, one of the things that they don't do is so smart though is that well they prefer to sit on wires as their
Mm-hmm.
perches. They prefer wires over trees, which is really interesting. But that also means that one of the leading causes of death for these poor little birds is electrocution.
Oh no.
Yeah. Some of their biggest, because they don't really have a lot of natural predators. They're a little bit bigger than most of the bigger birds like to go for, and so it turns out that just environmental things that humans have introduced ends up being one of the biggest threats. But despite that, they're doing pretty good. They're a species of least concern. Their numbers are doing very good, and they're found in
Yay.
pretty good numbers throughout their entire area. So that's pretty good. But yeah, as I was saying, very important bird in Indian culture. They say that spotting one nearby you and one of them coming to your home is a good omen, a predictor of good luck, and
Yay.
is the bird most sacred to the deity Vishnu.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's pretty cool. Um, Now there's a couple Indian festivals throughout the year, Dussehra and Durga Puja,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently during those festivals they will capture a good number of these and release them in big numbers as like part of the ceremony.
Oh,
I'm not sure
cool.
I approve of that, but
Yes.
the birds seem to be mostly unharmed through this.
Yeah.
And then there was another thing that I read that was kind of interesting. Apparently, these birds have another tie to Vishnu. There's an old legend where Vishnu drank poison, but didn't get it swallowed all the way into their stomach,
Mm-hmm.
and it's turned their throat purple, or turned their throat blue, and like the
Mm-hmm.
blue throat was like, supposedly then tied to these birds.
Yes.
But I think that's weird because these birds have orange throats, not blue throats. So I'm wondering where that came from.
I know the legend of the blue the poison and having a blue throat, but I haven't heard the connection to the bird. So there's a lot of things. The thing about those stories is they have a lot of different connections depending on where you are in India. So it's cool to hear different stories.
Well, that's true. I mean, India is a very big country with lots of different cultures and stories and folklore, and I love folklore. Folklore is the best. It's a good way to learn about people and their histories. But yeah, there are three states in India that this is their state bird: Odisha, Karnataka, and Telangana. So,
Nice.
so yeah, well revered. Although, much like the United States, it's like, come on, you shouldn't be able to have multiple states have the same bird. Each one should have a different one. Come
Right, you
on.
guys. Whoever got it first, you got to pick. Yeah, the two have to pick a different burp. There's lots of
Yeah, do we
burps.
really like we have like 7 states that have the cardinal and like 6 states that have the yellow-throated thrush. It's like, come on, pick a different bird. Pick different birds.
Yeah, come on,
Pick
guys.
something unique to your state. But either way, I think it's cool that this bird is so revered in India. And I mean, I can understand why. They're smart, they're beautiful. Uh they're just, I mean, just look at that bird. He's a beautiful bird.
That's a
He's a
pretty
beautiful
bird.
bird.
I like
He's
that
a beautiful
bird.
bird.
That's a good bird right there.
Oh,
Ooh,
and so yeah, this is a painting that was done in the year 1780 from Sheikh Zainuddin. So yeah, it just goes to show that these birds have been revered for a very long time. Pretty cool painting considering it's what 242 years old.
I like seeing the paintings versus the real thing. Like seeing how people depict it.
Yeah,
It's
pretty good
cool.
painting, I think. Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
So, yeah, my thoughts is, I mean, it's top tier bird if you ask me. Just
That
absolutely gorgeous. The only thing I wish this bird did is I wish they were a little more community driven. I like the birds that live
yeah.
in big communities, but they do what they do.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful bird. I like that it's a smart bird too, that it's adaptable. Um, I
Yeah, they
think
do
it.
well in both urban and rural environments.
I'm happy that they're doing so well. Because you always expect when you see a bird with beautiful plumage, the first thing I think is like, oh, I bet people kill that bird real fast for plumage, but maybe
Oh,
they're
well, actually, that was the case. Back in the 1800s, fly fishers would go after a lot of very beautiful bird species, birds of paradise, and all sorts of other birds to collect their feathers to literally make into fly fishing lures. And this was actually one of the most popular birds to be hunted specifically for its feathers in the 1800s. But it was in the late 1800s, I think in the 1890s, that the Indian government was like, no, we're going to make that illegal.
yeah, that's mean. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't kill birds for their feathers. That's not cool. It's
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah, I mean, if they drop a feather by themselves, you just pick it up off the ground, do what you will, I suppose. But
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. But don't hurt a bird. Don't hurt a bird. Except chickens, because they're delicious.
they're delicious. Even Corvus can admit chickens are delicious. Sorry, Rodney.
Sorry, Rodney.
Well, thank you, Corvus. I want to thank you very much for doing the research and putting together the presentation and doing it a special thing just for Animal Aid Unlimited and for the charity. So that means a lot. That's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of all animals, and I think it's a great organization. And yeah, um, 101 Burpees Dalmatian Pelican. Oh, maybe I could maybe do that. I could maybe do that. But yeah,
101
you're
bird is
welcome for the
Dalmatian.
bird of the day, folks. Thank you, Can Fodder. And yeah, this is bird of the day 97. That means I've
Excellent.
only got 3 more to go before I hit the big 100.
The
Yeah,
big 100.
so come check out my channel because
Yes.
we're gonna have a big celebration coming up real soon for Bird of the Day 100. And thank you so much for having me on, Luana. It's always good
Absolutely.
to talk about. And man, next time I collab with you, there's a bunch of birds I was looking at to choose this one. India has a lot of really cool birds.
Real cool
I
birds.
mean, I could do like a whole month of nothing but India birds. So
Right.
many cool birds in India.
And you got to spread them, but you could spread them out throughout the next
Oh yeah,
for the coming months.
yeah, spare them out.
So
Okay.
I'm just, if you want to, please follow Corvus Twig if you haven't already. I've sent a link to his page in the chat. And right at this point, I'm going to go quickly back to a be right back screen so I can set up the next game, which is Ghost of a Tale. And then we'll play that for a little bit. And then after that, we're going to be doing Left 4 Dead 2 with we'll have another big collab segment with Left 4 Dead 2 and a bunch of fun VTubers. So stick around for that. And I will see you guys in just a couple minutes after I set up.
Bye bye.